Good morning and welcome. So this is the last session of our summer classes, and what I want to focus on today is the highest attribute of yoga, and that is actually happiness, bliss, ananda. It's our birthright. It's how we were when we were little kids before we started worrying about this, that, and the other thing. And we just wanted to play. And there were no strangers out there. They were all potential playmates and people to have fun with and, play act and things like that. And obviously we get older and sure, we have responsibilities, et cetera, but the point is that nothing has any real inherent value. The value anything has is what we place upon it. So if we don't like what we see or hear, then we have an opportunity to either practice compassion or forgiveness. We may not know the person very well, and even if we think we know them very well, we probably don't know them as well as we think we do, because we barely know ourselves. So, letting it go so that we've got space for this attribute of being joyful, grateful, appreciative, curious, playful. So today I'm hoping that we bring a lighter attitude to our practice. And we're going to start in a seated posture with just some neck rolls, because with our devices and spending a lot of time at our screens, and honestly, you don't have to go very far to see this. It doesn't matter. People are on skateboards looking down at their phones and on public transit. Now, sitting up tall, typically, if we have a cushion to sit on, it helps us lengthen our spine. Our neck rolls, they release a lot of tension and tightness in the neck, and that allows better blood flow and nerve impulses to get up into our brain so we can think clearer and we have less stress, all right? So sitting up nice and tall, lengthening. If you are sitting on something and you bring your sits bones to the edge of what you're sitting on, it'll help you tilt your pelvis. Now, we want a balanced pelvis as much as possible, but it's really important when we're sitting and standing to have a long spine. And closing your eyes helps you go inwards. So inhale and lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhaling, releasing your shoulders, relaxing your face, your jaw. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. And you don't have to open your eyes to practice Hansi Mudra, which is the mudra of joy. You're going to take all your fingers except your baby finger, your pinky, and you're going to bring that index, middle, and ring finger, the tips of it, to your thumb. The pinky finger will simply be straight, relaxed. You can do one hand, you can do on both hands, but this is the mudra Hansi, Hansi, of joy, or mudita. Really, truly the highest goal. So continue to breathe, relaxing your shoulders, filling your lungs. You can think of your lungs as pear-shaped. They're wider at the bottom. And if we don't fill up at the bottom, then we don't expand our diaphragm, which is our major breathing muscle. And if you aren't sure if you're expanding your diaphragm, when you inhale, your belly should relax and protrude. And on an exhale, your belly relaxes. And you can contract it muscularly a little bit just to be sure you're releasing all the carbon dioxide and other waste products. Sitting nice and tall, inhaling in place, relax your shoulders, relax your face. On an exhale, drop your chin towards the center of your chest, isolating just your neck and your head. Don't let your shoulders come forward. In fact, push your shoulders back. This will give a nicer stretch. to the back of your neck, your trapezius muscles, those big fan-shaped muscles that start at the edge of your skull. They fan out along your upper back, down your spine, and toward your ribs, upper ribs. Inhaling in place, let's draw the head back up. Exhale, drop your chin once again. You're isolating just the head and the neck. On an inhale, you're going to take your nose towards the left, and you're going to draw a circle with your nose coming up on an inhale. Exhaling as your nose begins to draw the circle down. Inhaling, continue the circle. Once you're at the top, exhaling, go as slowly as possible, but synchronizing it with your breath. So inhaling on the up, through the nose, unless you're plugged, and exhaling on the way down. 2 more times in this direction. Notice the belly releasing on the inhale, the belly contracting on the exhale. And once you get to the bottom, inhale, bring the head straight up again, isolating just the neck and the head. Nothing else is moving except the breath. Exhale, release the chin towards the center of the chest. Feeling the stretch in the back of your neck, as well as your trapezius muscles. And then rotate in the opposite direction. Even a small misalignment in the neck can be corrected when we do our neck rolls mindfully, with awareness, slowly. Three more neck rolls. And once you've completed your last one, you're just going to bring your head on an inhale back up into the center between your shoulders, visualizing that the hole in your ear is directly over the middle of your shoulders. So that might involve pressing your head back a little bit. We're not used to this. You may actually feel the muscles in your upper back working because typically the head is pitched forward. The further the head is pitched forward, the more muscular tightness occurs. There can even be a shaving off of some of the vertebra towards the front of the spine. Remember, that's called the body of the spine, the front of it. And then if you are holding the mudra, Hansi, let's bring the hands into prayer, Anjali Mudra, pressing your thumbs between your and onto your sternum. Keeping your eyes closed, breathing in deeply, exhaling fully. And then rub your palms together generously, vigorously, creating heat and warmth. And then cup them over your eyes, bathing them in this blue, black, energetic warmth. And wash the sides of your face and just gently Release your legs out in front. Remove your cushion and bang out the backs of your knees. And this is the smiley class. Less muscles. Okay, improves your face value. All right, come on over onto all fours. When we think about yoga, you can actually think about the fact that they're named after animals and insects and nature. So somebody was enjoying themselves, and I'm hoping that you will enjoy yourself as well while you're practicing. With your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. If this is a pressure on your wrist, come onto your knuckles or take your hands a little bit further forward. On an exhale, let's round up into cat, drop the tail, tuck the chin and pull your bellies in. And on an inhale, curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back. Draw your heart center forward and lengthen through your neck and lifting your gaze up towards your third eye, Ajna chakra. Exhale, rounding into cat. Inhale, curl your toes under, nice stretch for the soles of your feet. Hollow out your lower back, draw your heart center forward, lengthen. Make sure your shoulders are pressing back. Exhale into cat. Inhale, dog. And exhaling one more time into cat. And inhaling, curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back, lengthen through your heart, push your shoulders back, let your eyes roll up to your third eye. Exhale, come back to neutral. And now let's just wag the dog's tail by taking your hips to one side, back to the center. Take your hips to the other side, stretching through the rib cage, and back to center. Again, send your hips out to the first side, and back to the center. And take your hips to the other side. It's no wonder dogs don't have back problems. They're busy wagging their tails and doing their downward dogs and resting a lot. Okay, take your knees wide apart, big toes touch, flatten the tops of your feet. Your knees are as wide as your mat. Carefully, slowly take your hips back towards your heels. Release your torso between your thighs. If your forehead is comfortable, flat on the mat, or you can add height by folding your forearms, one on top of the other, and resting your forehead on your forearms. Breathing with awareness into your side and back ribs. Through your nose. And when we think of joyful people, if you've ever watched or been in the presence of His Holiness the Dalai Lama or the Vietnamese Buddhist monk who's now in the Oh Be Joyful Executive Lounge, as I call heaven, they were happy, they were peaceful, equanimity. It's a true goal, it's a good one. And inhale, come on back up. Take your knees underneath your hips. We're going to come into dolphin pose. They have a permanent smile on their face, dolphins. Okay, so in dolphin pose, your elbows will be directly under your shoulders. You're going to interlace your fingers, but you're going to bring the bottom baby finger inside of your palm so you don't squish it. All right? And then you're going to curl your toes under. Your head does not go on the floor, but you're going to lift your hips up. Now, if you want a little more strengthening of this posture, you walk your toes a bit forward. If your head were to touch the floor, it would be inside of your palms, but it's not going to touch the floor. And if you want less intensity, then take your feet a little further back. Just find the spot that feels comfortable. So one of the things we need and that yoga offers is stretching the muscles and building strength. So there's stretching in the lower half of your body, strengthening in the upper half of your body. So breathe. And then release your knees to the floor. Let's come back onto our backs for a moment. And if you experience any kind of dizziness or nausea at any point, just slow everything down. Take a break. So on your back, supine, with your knees bent, your feet flat on the floor, your heels aligned with your sits bones as much as possible. Lift your shoulder blades off the mat, tuck them under your heart center. Bring your arms beside your body with your palms facing down, and tilt your chin towards the center of your chest. So this will be bridge pose. Lots going on in bridge pose. It's not a difficult posture, but tremendous benefits. Press the small of your back into the floor just to start. Engaging your core. Super important for good posture. If you have a weak core, then posture will be compromised. So notice, just by pressing the small of your back into the floor, you are activating your core abdominal muscles. It's also great to engage these muscles to help mobilize whatever may be lingering that's had enough time in a particular area of the body and needs to move along. Press the small of your back into the floor, pressing into the soles of your feet. Peel your spine off the mat, pressing up, strengthening obviously the lower part of the body, but perhaps one of the greatest benefits is that this is a slight inversion. Some yogi masters will call inversions the nectar of life. It reverses the blood flow into important areas above the heart, specifically the endocrine glands that produce all the hormones that activate all of the activity going on in our bodies. The other benefit of holding in bridge pose, besides strengthening the muscles, strengthening the bones, is that the thyroid is the master gland of metabolism. So by compressing it, we activate, we rejuvenate, we move stuck energy out of the throat area, also known as the fifth chakra, Vishuddha, where we find our voice to speak our truth. One more breath in, pressing up, exhale. Slowly lower your spine back down onto the floor. And just take a moment here to rest before we do this again with a slight modification. Press the small of your back into the floor, engaging your abdominal muscles, and then peel your spine off the mat, coming up into bridge again, Setu Bandhasana, and then lift your right leg up in the air. So I don't know how many of you watched the special on the weekend. It was a live performance recorded by CNN with George Clooney playing the newscaster Ed Morrow on CBS. But what came out after the program in the post-mortem, and then lower that leg down and lift the other leg up, was the idea that there's a difference between facts and truth. So some people's truth, and not to negate anyone's idea of what their truth is may not be completely based on facts, all right? So just to make that distinction, but allowing people to have their truth, it's theirs, doesn't have to be yours. And then lower that leg down, and let's press up one more time, getting a little more compression into the thyroid area. Inversions also can drain our sinuses, and then slowly releasing all the way down. And then let's draw both knees into the chest, placing your hands on your shins, and just do a little rocking from side to side, ironing out any wrinkles, getting extra blood supply into this area. Let's make some circles, like a self-massage. Change the direction if you're making those circles by drawing your knees and thighs in towards your lower abdomen. That compression on your ascending, transverse, and descending colon can help move, again, waist that may be hanging around a little bit too long. Time to leave. Extend your left leg down in front. We're going to take that right knee with the left hand on the outside of the knee across the body, twisting, turning, stretching through the hips, through the glutes, your butt muscles. Just breathe into this area. Not only do the hips hold the upper body in place, but as you know, they're also the body's junk drawer, where we stuff things that we don't want to deal with, don't know how to deal with, didn't have time to deal with, and then forgot about it. So just by breathing into your hips, thighs, and your IT band with caring awareness, holding the stretch, and holding our stretch is really important to help the muscles elongate. You know, we see people with big muscles, that's fine, but typically there's a trade-off. They won't have as much mobility. Their muscles are mostly contracted as opposed to, you know, elongated, stretched. And coming back to the center, draw that knee into your chest, and then draw the other knee up and extend your right leg down in front. And let's take the other leg over to the opposite side. Now, here's the other interesting thing about keeping the muscles strong, is that when we have weak muscles, they can have insulin resistance. So strong muscles help the uptake of insulin out of the bloodstream into the muscles where it's needed for our muscles to function. They need the glucose, they need it. But if our muscles are weak, we can have insulin resistance, which can lead to inflammation. Too much sugar in the blood is inflammatory, and as I've said many times, inflammation is a precursor to many chronic illnesses and diseases that really are due to poor lifestyle choices, whether it's diet or lack of exercise, being too sedentary. And then bring that knee back to center and bring both knees into the chest and hug them in nice and tight. Okay, so we did some compression on the neck. Now I want to stretch and open the neck. So extend the legs straight down in front. Bring your arms beside your body with your palms facing down. And then lift your upper body off the floor and let your head hang backwards with about 10% or less of the weight on your head because it's on your lower body and on your elbows. So clearly this stretching of the thyroid, the upper chest, even the abdomen, opening, improving circulation throughout this area. Breathing through the nose warms, purifies, and humidifies the oxygen that hopefully is being shared throughout your entire body. Yoga facilitates this perfectly. Inhale, lift your head up. Exhale, come on all the way down. Let your feet splay out for a moment. Turn your palms up in the open and receiving position and just allow the benefits. You can think of your body like a sponge, that when we take a break between postures, the benefits of what you have just done are being absorbed and integrated into your body. It's like waiting for your computer to upload something. Same thing, only we're a lot more complicated than a computer. But when we adopt healthy habits, we don't have to think about what we're doing all the time. We just know what we're doing is helpful and healthy, if not wholesome. Okay, let's draw the knees one more time into the chest. You can either roll over onto your side or you can rock up to a seated posture and then come on over onto all fours. Please take a sip of water whenever you feel the desire. Okay. Placing your... Okay. Curl your toes under, lift your hips up, and let's just walk the dog. So one leg straight, one leg bent. Relax your neck. You can give your head a little bit of a swing so you know you're relaxing and changing. Pressing one heel towards the floor. One knee is bent. Super important, especially for people who are playing racket sports, to keep that Achilles tendon stretched and lengthened. Even traditional Chinese medicine suggests that by lengthening our tendons and our ligaments, even 10%, well, it's silly. They say add 10 years to your life. I like to say, may you live as long as you like and like as long as you live. And I think, though, by taking care of the body and having a good attitude, we'll like living a little longer. And continuing, feel that stretch in the back of your legs. Please notice that your neck is relaxed. And one more time, changing. And then either bring your hands towards your feet or your feet towards your hands and let yourself hang in Uttanasana. Standing forward bend. Your knees are soft. Your belly's on your thighs. The crown of your head is floating down. You can lift your toes kind of off the floor, wiggle them a little bit because you're pressing into the ball. Toe mount of the big toe, baby toe, center front of heel. And remember, when you need to stretch your lower back, this is the lazy man's traction. Super easy. You can do this even while you're sitting in a chair. And then pressing the soles of your feet into the floor. Let's slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, keeping your chin tucked into your chest and letting your head be the last thing to come up. All righty, let's bring arms behind the body. We're going to get some fresh air in here, thanks to Philip. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Smiling, because it's a beautiful day. We've been blessed with a human birth. I know there's all kinds of things to complain and whine about. It's okay, do it and then get it out of your system. And release. And then come on up to the fronts of your mats for Surya Namaskar, sun salutations. Starting at the front of your mat. Come right up to the front of your mat. You might want to remove your knee pad if you have one. Inhaling in place, exhaling, hands in prayer. Step your feet apart. Reach your arms up. Look up. Arc back. Keep the length in your body. Feel the stretch through your abdominal muscles, your chest. Inhale, bring your feet back together. Lift up out of your waist and fold from your hips or the tops of your legs, whichever speaks to you. And please let your head hang. Step your left leg back, drop the knee to the mat. Bring your hands onto your front right thigh. Focus your gaze for balance. Inhale, lifting up, press through your back heel. Make sure your torso stays straight over your hips. There's less torque. And then inhale, sweeping up. Fingers are active. Press through your back heel. This is your anchor. Your high lunge, stretching the back leg. So you're stretching the muscles of the back leg and you're contracting the muscles of your front leg. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart, coming into push-up or plank position. Now, if it's too much to be on your wrists without your knees to the floor, then bring them to the floor and cross at the ankles. Now, yoga off the mat, you can do a push-up against a wall. You want your hands shoulder height the way they are now. Your feet about a foot away from the wall, and you come forward to the wall, bending your elbows, and then you straighten them. And to make it a little more difficult, of course, you take your feet a little bit further away from the wall. Yoga off the mat. Pull your bellies in. It's actually natural for your core to engage when you're holding plank posture. And if you really feel weaker than you want to, practice this posture. You will become stronger. Release your knees, flatten the tops of your feet, take your hips as far back as you can, relaxing your wrists, stretching through the shoulders, the arms, and a nice compression for your abdominal area. Remember, when we compress any muscles or any areas or even the joints, we're removing waste, toxins, impurities. And then when we stretch out, which we're about to do, so slowly coming forward, keep your bum high, your upper body low. When you're able, release your chest and your chin. Feels awkward, but it's awesome for the alignment of your spine. Slide everything out behind you. If your toes are off the mat, scoot yourself forward, release your forehead, draw your fingertips back to align with the tops of your shoulders. Bring your elbows into your side body and press your forearms down towards the floor. Notice how this moves the shoulders away from your ears. Roll an invisible alley with your nose to lengthen your neck. On an inhale, lifting your head, neck, shoulders, and chest without using your hands. Pressing up, so you're activating the muscles of the lower back. Your eyes can be rolled up towards your third eye, Ajna Chakra. And breathe. Lifting as much as you can. This is also rejuvenating for your kidneys and your adrenals, which are in the lower part of your middle back. So now compressing to help them release, again, toxins and waste. On an inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Curl your toes under. Pressing up, coming into downward dog. Walk your toes a few inches forward and then bend your knees. Press your sits bones towards the back of your mats. And then press your heels towards the mat. So now we're stretching through the entire back and allowing good blood supply into the spinal region, as well as your adrenals and kidneys, which we were just compressing. Now we're stretching. Pressing your sits bones towards the back of your mat. This takes some of the weight out of the front of the body. Feel the stretch through the backs of the legs. Your ears should be aligned with your arms. And then inhale, lift the left leg up. Look at your left hand. Swing that foot as far forward as you can. Other leg forward, and let your upper body hang. Arms beside your ears, engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Sweep the arms in front, feet apart for balance. Look up, reach up, arc back. Inhale, feet come back together. Lift out of your waist. Reach as you hinge from your hips. Let your head hang. Bend your knees, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up and overhead. Exhale into prayer. One more round, and we'll do it just a little bit quicker, but not too quick. Inhale, exhale, hands in prayer. Step your feet apart. Reach up, look up. Lengthen as you arc and stretch the front of your body. Inhale, bring your feet back towards one another. Lift up out of your waist. Reach forward as you hinge. Let the crown of your head float down, fingertips touching the floor. You have to bend your knees, that's fine. Maybe your legs are straight. There's no prize for either way. Step your right leg back, drop the knee to the mat, and then bring your hands onto your front knee. Focus your gaze, lift up, keep your shoulders right over your hips. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Fingers are active. Press through the back heel. That's going to help you be steady. Balanced postures are great for learning to concentrate, which is a prerequisite for meditation. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart, take that front leg back, coming into your version of plank posture. Shoulders away from your ears. Remember, your neck is part of your spine. Think of your body as strong as a 2x4, pressing all 10 fingers and the heel of your hand into the mat so that you create that tunnel, that carpal tunnel. There are 6 tendons running through here. The carpal is just one of them. Notice your core, abdomen activated. And then release your knees, flatten the tops of your feet. Take your hips back towards your heels and enjoy the stretch and the release. And leaving your hands where they are. Slowly come forward, stay nice and low, and when you can, release your chest and your chin onto your mats. Slide everything out behind you. Draw your fingertips back to the tops of your shoulders, elbows into your rib cage. Press your forearms down towards the mat. If you're going to practice the full version of Cobra, Bhujangasana, you may want to separate your feet, roll your baby toes into the mat, pressing your hips and pelvis lightly into the mat. Roll an invisible alley with your nose to lengthen your neck. On an inhale, we'll all be doing baby cobra. You're not using your hands. If you lift them off the floor, you know you're not using them. And then if you wish to push up further, press the floor away from you, keeping your shoulders down and elbows tucked in. So your wrists and your elbows are aligned with your shoulders. This is a heart opener. There's lots going on in Cobra. Let your eyes roll up, open or close towards third eye. One more breath in, exhale, lengthen and lower. If you separated your feet, bring them back together, curl your toes under, lift your hips up, walk your feet a few inches forward, press your belly towards your thighs, if not onto your thighs, chest towards knees. Your ears are lining up with your inner arms, sits bones towards the back of your mat, and now press your heels towards the mat. Doesn't matter if they touch or not. Just want to feel a good stretch in the backs of your legs. Like a fine instrument, you don't tune the strings too tightly. They'll break. Lift your right leg up in the air. Look at your right hand. Swing that foot as far forward as you can. Other leg forward. Let your upper body hang. Give your head a swing. Arms beside your ears. Engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Sweep the arms in front. Feet apart for balance. Look up, arc back. Inhale, feet come back together. Lift out of your waist. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands in prayer, Anjali Mudra. 1 second here. We're going to lose our mic. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. All right, coming up to the front of your mats for a few standing postures, kind of a gentle, soft vinyasa. Step your right foot back 1 leg length. We're going to start in warrior 2. So your feet need to be at least 1 leg length apart. Your left leg is forward, your right leg is back. Heel of your front foot creates a straight line through the arch of your back foot. You could all teach this by now, right? Bend your front knee. Don't let your torso go forward. See your toe inside of your knee so that your knees are tracking over your middle toes. Press into the outside of your foot. Now, when you press this foot towards the back of your mat and the outside of your foot towards the back of also the end of your mat, it engages your inner thigh adductor muscles. But perhaps more important than that, it lifts your arches. And you don't have to buy orthotics, which I don't even know if they work. And they're expensive. Inhale, I have lots of them. Exhale, lower your shoulders, fix your gaze over your front middle fingers. Can you feel your inner thigh adductor muscles activated? If you're not, you may be collapsing that front knee or you're not pressing into the outside of your back foot. Lower your back arm, down your back leg, coming into reverse warrior. So you're really stretching, rounding back, coming back into warrior 2. Stretching, let that stretch originate between your rhomboid muscles or your shoulder blades. And lower that back arm and come into exalted peaceful warrior. So your arm just goes straight up, straight up. You're lifting up out of your waist. And coming back to warrior 2. And now lower your front arm inside your front leg and straighten your front leg coming into triangle. So it's just a gentle triangle. We're not going too far down. Straighten your front leg. Straighten your front leg. Front leg is straight. Inhale, come back to warrior 2 and bend your front leg. Stretch your arms. Inhaling to stretch. Exhale, straighten your front leg. Bring that arm, the front arm inside your front leg, the other one straight up on top. Imagine that your shoulder blades are both touching the same wall. And coming back into warrior 2. Inhale, straighten your legs, turn sideways on your mat with your toes pointed outwards. Exhale, halfway, flat top, tabletop. Tent your fingers on the floor. Inhale, sweep the right arm up, reaching up, stretching up. Feel the twist coming up onto the fingertips of the hand that's on the floor. stretching that inner thigh. Exhale, float the arm down. Inhale, float the other arm up. Stretching up, reaching up. Feel that other adductor muscle being stretched. Exhale. And now we're going to pivot on our feet in the other direction. So now your right foot is forward. You're turning towards the back of your mat. Windmill your arms coming up into warrior two. So make sure your front right foot is 90 degrees forward, so it's pointing towards the top of your mat. Your front foot is pointing towards the top of your mat. Your back foot is slightly pointed forward, so let's say 60 degrees, okay? Your back foot is pointing towards the front of your mat. And again, press that front knee towards the side of your mat. Press into the outer edge of your back foot so you can feel your arches lifting. Inhale to stretch. Exhale, coming into reverse warrior. Lower your back arm, down your back leg. Reach that other arm up and back, stretching. Inhaling, come back to warrior two. Exhaling. Let's come into peaceful warrior. So the top front arm goes straight up and your back arm is down beside your thigh. So you're stretching up and reaching up. Exhaling, come back to warrior two. And then we're going to do our soft triangle pose. So on an inhale, you're going to straighten your front leg and lower that front arm inside of your front leg, reaching your other arm straight up. Inhale, come back to warrior two, bending. Exhaling. Straighten your front leg, lower that arm, front arm inside your leg, reaching your back arm straight up, so one shoulder is stacked above the other. Inhaling, come back to the center once again. Walk your feet in towards one another. And then bring your hands onto your hips, walk your feet in. And then you're going to really turn your feet out. We're going to come into goddess pose or God. Okay, so pressing the knees wide apart so that your knees are mostly tracking over your toes. Adjust your foot position to make this work. Inhale, bring your arms into cactus or goalposts if you're a sports guy. And you're sitting your butt down, Squats are a beautiful thing. Really important for strengthening the hams, the quads, and the glutes. These are the big muscles of the body that hold us up. Inhale, come on all the way up, and then lower your hands, walk your feet in towards one another, so that they're quite close, and then everybody's favorite, horseman's pose, Utkatasana. Okay, nobody's favorite. Inhale, drop your butts, have a look that your knees are back of your toes, you're transferring your weight into your heels, and you're stretching your arms straight out in front. So this is also known as powerful pose, horseman's pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold. Let the crown of your head float down. On an inhale, come halfway up. Place your hands on your shins. Exhale, forward fold. One more, horseman's pose, powerful pose. Bend your knees a lot and drop your hips. Bend your knees a lot, drop your hips. Inhale, swing the arms in front. I'll bet you like this posture a lot more than you used to like it, don't you? Wow. Sitting your hips down as much as you can, strengthening the big muscles in the legs. And remember, if we want to strengthen the bones, we've got to hold for about 30 seconds to lay down new bone. Exhale, forward fold. And then come on down onto your knees and onto your backs in Shavasana for a moment before we resume the torture. Take a sip of water. Again, we're going to let the body absorb, like a sponge, the benefits of what we're doing. So lift your shoulder blades up and tuck them under your heart center. Bring your heels mostly together. Let your feet splay out. Turn your palms up in the open and receiving position. Tilt your chin towards the center of your chest to lengthen the back of your neck. And just let your bodies be soft and heavy for a moment. Breathing in through your nose and exhaling through your nose as well. And always consider when you're feeling stressed to lengthen, elongate your exhalation. The breath is pretty perfect in that when we inhale, it activates the sympathetic system, the action, the fight or flight. When we exhale, our parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest, is activated. And typically, we have no problem using our sympathetic fight or flight. Traffic, noise, computers, all this stuff. It's all got us on high alert. So we need to work to balance our systems, our nervous system, by making our exhalations at least as long or maybe longer than our inhalations. The more you work with the tools that yoga offers, the easier it will be for you to access them when you need them. Notice your belly rising on your inhale. Then you know you're filling your pear-shaped lungs right to the bottom. If your belly isn't rising, then you're not breathing deeply, fully, and completely. The quality of our breathing can determine the quality of our mental state, and it definitely has a lot to do with our physicality. All right, you're either going to roll over onto your side, or once again, you're going to bring your knees to your chest, place your hands underneath the backs of your knees, rock up. We're going to come up for 2 more postures. Curl your toes under. Roll back onto the soles of your feet. Let the crown of your head float down. Keep your knees bent, pressing the soles of your feet into the floor. Let's slowly roll up 1 vertebra at a time, keeping your chin tucked into your chest. Your head is the last thing to come up. Now, balance. We're going to do 2 balance postures. We're going to start with stork. If you think balance isn't going to be happening for you today, then find a spot somewhere to hold on to a wall, whatever you like. But in balance, you wait for your own inner cue. It's not when I say, it's when your body says. But for stork, it's a simple bending. So I'll do the mirror. Take your left leg, so you're balancing on your right foot, and you're just bending and holding the ankle. Focus your gaze 8 to 9 feet in front of you. This is a nice stretch, of course, for the quadriceps, which is great. after you work them change. So focus is everything. And some days balance is just kaputski. Don't know why. You can blame it on the planets. And all the wobbling just works all your little tiny proprioceptive muscles. It's the skeletal muscles. When I mentioned insulin resistance, it's the large skeletal muscles that are really important for the muscles to take up the insulin, okay? So weak muscles, that's when we get insulin resistance. Strong muscles, we're tip-top Magoo. Okay, tree pose. Yay, Vrikshasana. We love our trees. Okay, so again, you're starting to balance on your right foot first, so come up onto the ball of the left. Again, you're gonna focus your gaze, you're gonna take your time, and if balance is tough for you today, you can bring your foot inside of your ankle, or you can press onto your calf, or taking hold and bringing the heel to your inner thigh. Do not press on your knee. And then you can open a branch or two. So you're pressing the sole of your foot into your thigh and your thigh into the sole of your foot. Knee is turned out. Don't press on your knee, whatever you do. Nice, everybody. And give your legs a good shake out. And let's try the other side, for better or worse. Because it doesn't matter. This is just fun. Just play. But again, you're strengthening the bones, externally rotating the hip, activating a whole bunch of little tiny muscles in the foot and the ankle. Beautiful. Give your legs a shake out, take a sip of water, lay down and play dead. Shavasana, good work, everyone. So in your lying down position, bringing your heels together, let your feet splay out. Arms are far enough away from your body so that your palms are facing up and your shoulder blades are relaxing on the mat. With your eyes closed, let your eyeballs sink into their sockets. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Relax the jaw. Let your bodies be soft and heavy and soak up the benefits of your performance. Inhaling gently through the nose, exhaling through the nose. We could think of our practice as a way of keeping ourselves in the preciousness of the present moment, wherever we are, to embrace whatever arises with a beginner's mind and an open heart There are enough conditions in any ordinary day for us to feel appreciative and happy to be alive. We all know the truth that more connects us than divides us. In times of crisis, the wise build bridges, while the foolish build barriers. We must find a way to look after one another, as if we were one single tribe. This is a quote from a movie, The Black Panther. And I really do love quotes that inspire me. This one from Mark Twain. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet gives when stepped on. And Ralph Waldo Emerson. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. And I dare say, as we add years to our life, we have more to offer, more to share that's worthwhile, that's important. In our own ways, I'm sure that we are all doing this. Inhaling the life force long, full, and deep, exhaling. Long, full, deep, inhaling, your belly rising, and deep, exhaling. Inhale, stretch your arms over behind your heads, reach and stretch, point feet far, flex and point, and drop your arms down by your side. And let's stretch one more time, reaching up towards the sky, reaching and stretching, lifting, point feet far, flex and point, drop your arms down by your side. And then take your time to roll over onto your side, using your top arm to press yourselves back up into a seated position. If you can locate your cushion, perhaps place that under your hips. Let's, if you wish, practice the Hansi Happy Mudra one more time. So bringing your 3 fingers without the pinky, leave that one on its own. Bring your fingers to your thumb, pinky stretched out. And if you wish, join me in chanting Om just once, inhaling together. Om Shanti, Namaste, peace. Many thanks. Muchas gracias. Salutations, sages. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
And in the words of Alice Cooper, school's out forever. Well, look, have a fun summer. I hope you do some stretching and strengthening and enjoy whatever summer brings, however it shows up. And don't let the turkeys get you down. There's this thing called karma. John Lennon is going to get you. Oh, hi, nice to see you. That's okay, thank you. Laundry money. Thanks, Stephanie, thank you. Okay, King George, how was it?
Love it.
Good.
So I need your advice.
It's I want to do this in the Upper West Side of Manhattan.